ice. He's a blue, cute, and deadly little guy. Sing through the fog, old gods he's slayed. Go7, 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 Go7. Go7, 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 Go7. Go7, king of the game. I believe in you, that's what he'll say. Nice and kind, leading cobalt ice. He's a blue, cute, and deadly little guy. Sing through the fog, old gods he's slayed. Go7, 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 Go7. Go7, 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 Go7. Go7, king of the game. I believe in you, that's what he'll say. Nice and kind, leading cobalt ice. He's a blue, cute, and deadly little guy. Sing through the fog, old gods he's slayed. Go7, 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 Go7. Go7, 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 Go7. Go7, king of the game. I believe in you, that's what he'll say. Nice and kind, leading cobalt ice. He's a blue, cute, and deadly little guy. Sing through the fog, old gods he's slayed. Go7, 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 Go7. Go7, 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 Go7.
Hello, hello, hello. I see that Shadow's messages got left behind by the recording software. Very weird. Dr. Nasty sends his greetings from across the seas. Oh wow. Don't worry, Shadow. I saw them. The recording software just didn't. And Marco Maps, hello. I know, Shadow, I know. Tragic. We do have a first-time submitter, so we'll be covering them. Not sure who it is between these. Oh, I do have a fix for this. That's right. Eligatua showed me the fix. Let's see if we can remember how this works. I think no. Maybe I don't remember the fix. For some reason I thought I could like go to my list of maps in here. I can try this. I just like go up. Terrain. Oh, it's, yeah, this is probably it's terrain. And then I need to look at the map's ID number. The kids need me more? Maybe. Hey, they're students. I have to keep her because they're ages 18 to 21. Okay, so I need to look up this map. Like search maps. Don't worry, I also keep messing up and calling them kids. Oh, I apparently searched this map very poorly. If I just get rid of this part. What? The water. Don't drink the water. Oh, I see what happened. I see. So this version of Don't Drink the Water just doesn't exist anymore. Daddy Maxac straight up deleted it. So I guess we'll see if there's any... We'll see if there's any problems that come about from that. What differences are in this version? It looks exactly the same to me. Oh no, there's a little difference over here with the pipes. Okay, so in the corners, the pipes are different. Like, it's just like, and the new version that has a different name, so I don't think it would work. It goes like pipe, 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 lanes, pipe, which is a very weird. We'll see if that happens. We might see like air units going across this pipe or something. I don't know. Oh, I've definitely ended my turn and accidentally triple base skip. How do you recover? You gotta be like, it was all a big brain play. I think you basically have to like super tech up on the next turn and hope that just is enough. Yeah, so the new map is just called Don't Drink the Water, but this map is 1v1 Don't Drink the Water. I think because it has a different name. Well, I can't actually check if the IDs line up. The triple base skip is called We Need a Medic! Nice. Alright, Lucas, you get to be Yellow Comet here. W face left, right. So, I think this map is pretty interesting. The one thing I don't like about it is the airport. I kind of feel like this map would be better if the airport was replaced with something else, because the air units very, like, if you get the first copter out, you go like 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6. Well, it doesn't quite reach here in 2 turns, but it gets over here. That's already, because there's like a front right here that's fighting, and there's a front right here that's fighting. So you build it, it moves a turn, and it's already threatening 2 different fronts. So one over here is very difficult for this player to like immediately respond to. You kind of have to do a prophylactic anti-air. The anti-air has to go all the way around to fight and defend these cities. So it's just it runs into that mix-based airport problem where the copter comes out, and if it's the first copter that comes out, it threatens the fronts first. So it's a lot stronger than the person that built the second copter, and if they don't build an anti-air, then you have a copter that does whatever it wants. If they build a copter in response to your copter does whatever it wants, and then you can build an anti-air to deal with their copter on the same turn. So I'm not a huge fan of this airport in this mixed-based scenarios, especially because the map is small enough for it to have an immediate impact on the fronts after 1 turn of movement. But otherwise, I think this map is pretty good. Yeah, the middle bases are pretty killable. The Smacky Cup has just started. That's always. It'd be worthwhile looking into modifying the replay viewers so Yellow Comet has the yellow penguins. By the way, I finally looked up why this yellow versus blue is such a good color scheme for people who are colorblind, and it's because the three cones in our retinas take in blue light, they take in red light and green light, but yellow, we see yellow because it triggers both red and green. So if you're like can't see red, then the yellow will still show up as something different than blue. If you can't see green, then yellow still shows up as something different. They're triggering different tones there. I found very cool. But regardless, we can hop into this game here. We got a max mirror, which I think will make this airport even more impactful. Okay. That's a weird movement. Single step forward for Lucas? Not onto the city? I guess really wants to go for this city? If I want to go for this city instead of this city, that's fine. I would just step to here, so it's kind of ambiguous. Are you going for this city? Or are you going for this city? This makes it very obvious where you're going. I don't know if that would really matter, because I don't think there's anything that Scissor can do about it. Looks like we're going for a really fast airport here from Mac, or from our penguins. You work in optical? You know exactly what I mean? Yay. What if the airport was behind the pipe seams? You mean like you have to break a pipe seam to get to it? That would probably be fine. Then it's not quite as much of a huge tempo play. We'll see how... This is a really fast airport. I don't know how good that is, but we'll find out. Ooh, Scissor is also ignoring this one. Super ignoring it. Going for the captures over here. I can understand wanting to go for these captures, because if you get them now before the opponent has stuff to interrupt it, you're like, oh, I've got the contested properties. But I would not put the priority on like the second one coming over here. I'd be fine going for this capture, going for this capture, because I don't think that this base can reliably hold on to this city. And you'd really hate to go for a very early capture just to end up with their first push out, especially if the copter comes in along with the base. So this is fine to like go over here. The other choice could be to walk to here, going for this city. And that would be assisting it would be like a reaction to this double infantry being put over here. You'll have this base and this base kind of gang up and take out these early captures. We'll see who gets the first vehicle, because it's going to be very, very impactful. Smart glasses, Goral. You like the potential lab threat? I guess that's true. We do have 2 labs, right? Or is it? Yeah, there's 2 labs. One here, one here, one here, one here. Ooh, going for an early comm tower here. So we didn't have any vehicles built from Scissor, although we didn't really have the cash to do so. So it looks like Scissor's actually going to be set up. Go copter first, which does kind of put Lucas in a bind. Does Lucas go for a tank first, or just go straight to anti-air first? Because this is such an obvious copter. We are going to go tank first up here, which is going to be really tragic if it has to run into... Okay, so looks like it is pipe. Not this pipe chilling here. Because we just had a penguin step on there, and we did go copter first here. We'll see. I was saying it's very very game warping to have these really fast copters, although usually you have other vehicles still on the map. So we'll see how it goes, because right now it's not able to threaten a whole bunch of tanks or like an entire front. The fronts aren't quite established yet, but it's still going to be really annoying for Lucas to match this. It's like, if you build an anti-air over here, then the copter just defends against this tank. You build the anti-air over here, then the copter is just going to go over here and threaten all these. We are going to build the anti-air up here. The copter's just not going to go. And then the copter goes over here. It threatens these guys, then makes you build another anti-air, and then tank gets built over here. Keep building tanks to deal with all the anti-airs. It might be okay because this was so fast. There isn't a large enough tank force to really punish anti-airs being built at this stage. If there was already an existing tank force, then different. The copter does cover this exchange, so that's very nice. Scissor. If an anti-air gets built 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it doesn't quite defend against the copter, so it'll be a free hit. Oh my gosh. These are goes with a prophylactic anti-air. You have copter anti-air. Anti-airs are fairly decent against fighting other anti-airs, but I would definitely lean towards tanks because you want to punish the fact that they're building anti-airs in order to deal with your copter. Like, this has to, I mean, there's no reason not to build an anti-air here. It's going to be fine fighting this other anti-air, and it has a copter right here to do it. So very surprising this is a win for that. And they set themselves up for whoa. They set themselves up for 18k next turn. They could go double tank. They can't go tank copter because they have 4 bases. They could go double tank or anti-air. Pop, pop. We don't. Oh, we do have a comm tower, so there's about a 30% chance to get killed there. Goes for the save on the lab. Personally, I think I would just let that lab go because there's going to be some nasty vehicles backing this up, and the lab doesn't really matter. Decides to send the copter over here. Smack. Does get the 2-hit KO here. But this is a lone base versus a double base. So you really want to avoid trading infantry out, because if you, for instance, if you sit here and build a tank every single turn from this base, they can build a tank every single turn, match you, and then also build an infantry. So they're always going to have more available infantry, and if you run out of infantry, then they get to start capturing your properties and force your vehicle to hit their infantry, and then their vehicles get to hit your vehicle. Things will move downhill really, really quickly. So it's usually wise to avoid trading your infantry out when your 1 base is 2 base for as long as possible, so that you can kind of stall until you can get some reinforcements or some tech ups or something that make it so you don't have to have your vehicles interrupting their infantry captures. You can have your own infantry and keep the fights relatively even. Keep trying standard, but you just seem much better at fog. Is it better to be a bit more aggressive in standard so they have to match your tempo? So the biggest difference between, well, okay, there's the difference between the maps in standard and fog, which is a huge difference. But the other thing is that standard is just like heavily positional play, and a lot of just like forcing your opponent to make concessions based on the position of your units, which is not the case in fog. In fog of war, your position is always in a spot where it's like, well, if I need to, I can go over here and do this. I could do a front shift depending on like what's my opponent doing in the fog. So when you go from fog into standard, you're going to have really wonky positioning kind of ingrained in your soul for standard play, and it makes it very difficult because you'll just get out pressured everywhere. So yes, I could, like, you don't have to be incredibly aggressive in standard, but what you should be going for is positional pressure. That's also why artillery are like so much better in standard than they are in fog. So that could be something to try out if you want to really get a feel for how strong the positional play is. Start playing with some artillery, and you'll be like, oh my gosh, they just can't do anything. Okay, Lucas Bam Bam fighting some infantry here. Anti-air comes down here, covering them against the copter. With this tank, it wasn't defending the infantry, another reason why you wouldn't want to do that. And here we're going to have to start the pressure on the comm tower. Very painful. The tank can't hit that, so you have to like smack that with an infantry. And you're going to want to put your tank on these woods, hit this infantry, and then make sure to have an infantry stand on this city. So that this tank can't hit you from this. We're gonna build a tank over here. That's not really necessarily needed, but that's fine. If Lucas wanted to, could have skipped building the tank at this point and just gone for a copter at this stage. It's got another infantry because there's not a ton of pressure being put over here at this turn. Here we have our tank strike. Gotta go for the infantry strike because losing that comm tower will be devastating. We're gonna go for the copter strike from the hitting the base to force a base lock in exchange for your copter. I would not do this because your opponent's already producing off of 4 bases and has an airport, so you're not like, it'll hurt this base, sure, but you're gonna lose your entire early game copter for that. Oh, I take it back. I didn't see that. That's a great follow-up. Okay, I take it all back. Yeah, the infantry going here and blocking means the anti-air can't hit the copter, and there's nothing to kill the infantry. Okay, that's a lot better. Now the copter survives. It's still not like amazing because it's an infantry for an infantry, but it's much cuter. The anti-air just kills this infantry. It's on the missile. Well, it probably does it from this, but we'll see. So it's an infantry for an infantry. But it's a super cute infantry. So that redeems it. I like this capture going on here. There's nothing that... Well, Lucas could come in with the anti-air and clear. Oh, what happened here? Oh, the infantry was on the city, but the anti-air got the one-shot. That's max for you. And then the tank hits here. We're going to keep... But we don't keep capturing, we just strike here. So this isn't really that bad for Scissor, because this is like... You get this tank strike as Lucas here, right? But it costs you your anti-air. Because Max can just come in with this tank and smack it. I think it'll live just barely. And then as Lucas here, you're fighting within base range, which is really uncomfortable. We do kill that, build another anti-air. Doesn't mean that Scissor gets this city, which is really good. You can launch, yes, you can launch missiles in Advanced Wars by Web. It's a little glitchy. But like, if you're talking about like this missile silo, it's just here for cosmetic reasons. You can't get an infantry on this to fire. And in general, for competitive maps, you will never see. Happy Friday! Happy Friday! Yep. I guess the anti-air does live at 2. If Scissor gets power, then the copter could go over and interrupt it. Or, I mean, not interrupt, but finish off the anti-air. No need, though. Ooh. Scissor's gonna swarm in here with this anti-air. It didn't have a copter to deal with, so it's just gonna die to tanks. Tank kinda covers, but again, it's gonna be in base range. Okay, so you have to be very careful with this situation, because the anti-air doesn't die, and there's no way to get like a unit on the pile. If that's like a tank here, well, I guess that even then it doesn't matter because the tank strikes here. Anyway, what we've got to worry about is this infantry moving right here. Isn't it's blocking these holes from going out and attacking. But this copter's doing its thing. It's at 9 health, it's still a very big threat, and there's only a 2 health anti-air over here, which could do a number, especially with a power, but it's not going to be able to. The missile silo is why you don't drink the water. Okay, Lucas is going for the first power. So that this tank can now reach this anti-air. This tank can't reach anything but infantry though. We are going to go in for the swing. Does 3 damage to the anti-air or to the copter. Smack up there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So with a power, Scissor would be able to hit that tank. But it looks like we're going to block very effectively. Well, interesting. Decides to use this tank. Let's get the strike from a city. I guess it's fine. I would usually use this one, but if it can only attack from here and Scissor doesn't like it. I'm gonna get an anti-air. There's already, this is what I was saying with so much anti-air to be built in response to a single copter. It was 3 anti-airs. Scissor built a prophylactic one, which I think was probably a poor choice. And now that it gets hit, Lucas gets this one. Up this copter. Okay, so Scissor wants to defend this comm tower for sure. I'm pretty sure with the power, you can go like copter smack, tank smack from the forest. Maybe this one. And then this tank can interrupt. Could be wrong. I'm pretty sure that tank will one-shot me on the planes. Ooh, it doesn't. I guess that plus 10 stats is just barely enough. Ooh, well, that makes this a very nice play from Lucas. Is going to be able to have double comm tower versus 0 comm towers. It's just a lot of damage. It's not as impactful as it would be with other COs, because 0 comm tower max still has the plus 20% firepower on the vehicles. So it still gets those guaranteed 2 KOs on like cities, or against units on cities, but you know, 40% to 20% still pretty impactful. Ooh, Xantair is in position to start seriously hampering where this copter can go. Luke is getting ready to take that city back. There we go. We have our copter coming out, and now Scissor doesn't have an anti-air. Oh, this anti-air is way down here. Running into that same problem. Smack. Gonna finish off this copter with tank and 2 infantry, it looks like. That. Infantry finishes off this tank. Oh, it lives at 1. Not a huge deal, but it can still be a really annoying blocker. Slash sacrificial unit. So neither of the central bases have really had the pressure put on them. It's probably because it's a max mirror. And there's not going to be that many artillery being used. Okay, Scissor's going for the comm tower steal here in retaliation for this one. Takes another city. Let's get to finish off this tank and hit this one. Okay, being up 6k is pretty darn nice, although it looks like some of these cities might fall very quickly. Okay, so the question is both, can Lucas save the comm tower, and does Lucas want to save the comm tower? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we can always have anti-air go here, one shot, tank one shot, and then infantry go for the interrupt. So that's definitely a savable comm tower. It would take 2 vehicle attacks. That's probably fine because you still get the copter and a tank shot, and then you're still fighting in your base range and maintain your. That is a very 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so Lucas must be trying to go for the power so that this tank can hit this anti-air. That was a very weird choice. Because now there's no way to save the comm tower. Surely you just like... And don't call me Shirley, of course, but I'm pretty sure you can get enough charge from fighting on the other side of the map. Oof, and then Lucas doesn't even... Okay, very weird. Okay, well, that's really good news for Scizor. Going to maintain a 6k income lead. Now, this infantry just stays here. I don't understand that. Definitely like move over here and threaten to go for this capture, right? Guess a little scared about this infantry stepping across the mountain. Is your happy days gets the comm tower, starts clearing up here, down goes the copter. Oof. Nice interrupt over here. It's looking very bad for Lucas now. We go for straight for a medium tank over here. Interesting. Doesn't really seem needed. I think another tank would be fine. You'd be in a situation of tank, 5 health tank, copter versus tank, anti-air. I guess the idea is the anti-air is going to be killing the copter, and then you're going to be just a huge tank brawl. This copter attacked in a spot that doesn't just get hit by this anti-air. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, it could have just attacked from up here. If it attacks from up here, then the anti-air can't just use the power and hit it. I don't know what White was up with that. Oh, this is a pretty decent power. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, okay, it would be a lot better. If this tank could make it over here, it would be a lot better, because then you can have tank, smack, kill this tank off. Oh, never mind, the infantry can't reach. For some reason, I thought they could move forward. It's still decent. Okay, so the medium tank will get to strike in here. Very big vehicle swing for Lucas in the middle here. And now the infantry walks away. It's a lot better if it walks away on a prior turn. Also, it just walked into copter range on a shoal. All right, we're going for the super. Saves the city. We're going for another city cap. Kills a tank. I assume this is going to save this. Starts this city cap. Max the anti-air. Infantry go after the tank. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You can go onto this city. It's a lot safer. There's no infantry left for Lucas on this front, so you can kind of just leave if you want to. I have to hit this in rather than this one. I would usually lean towards making more of them injured. It's harder to get the captures going. Bunch of strikes go in here. The anti-air is actually going to heal up to 3 there somehow. Here comes the blocks on this base. Fortunately, only blocking here, it's not blocking here and here. We get to see how Scissor wants to handle this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It seems fine with the medium tank right now, because the medium tank can interrupt this. Actually, even better. Medium tank just kills the anti-air. Copter interrupts this capture. Copter smacks. Tank smacks to interrupt this, and then Scissor doesn't lose anything. Property-wise. Huge number of infantry is starting to build up. Double base. Decides to use the medium tank there. After this tank over here. I'll force a base skip to trade the copter. I kind of like the medium tank killing the anti over here. Personally. Because then you have 2 copters like uncontested. Okay, so this copter gets some free hits. You lose that copter. It does give Scissor some charge, I guess. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Stops the medium tank from standing here. Starts going for a capture on the lab. I'm not too worried about that. Or maybe you should be, because yeah, Scissor is really close to just winning by lab cap. Might actually be forced now. I think it is. Yeah. Interrupt that. And then there's nothing that Lucas can do. Scissor gets the win. Lucas resigns. GG. Hello. That was pretty wild. We did get to see how strong those copters are, with a 1 copter being built and then 3 anti-airs being forced in response. It wasn't quite as backbreaking as it could have been, because Scissor built a prophylactic anti-air instead of just building a tank to kill the anti-airs, but it still ended up doing pretty good. Scissor managed to get like an amazing income lead in that game. If Lucas managed to hold on to both comm towers, then maybe we would have a different outcome. But GG. Look at my replay. We have Aldwin. Lash versus Andy on Ultra Shoal. Oh, this map. For some reason, I thought this was a high funds map. Yeah, very wide. All right. Well, I should always make. Okay. Here we go. I think there's usually quite a few. I think most of the times we've seen this map, it was just a bunch of tanks sprawling it out. But of course, there's some encouragement for artillery, because you have like this airport that's behind the pipe seam, and you also have these forests that are guarding this city across the pipe seam. Ooh, fancy movement here from Lash, rushing this very contestable city. Oh my gosh, we're not rushing the contestable city. There's no way we're rushing the comm tower, are we? That's gonna put you so far behind in economy. Are we just moving to get these cities really quickly? No, it was to rush the comm tower? Okay, so comm towers don't give you income. So to like city skip to go straight for a comm tower is absolutely wild. This is gonna be the first turn for Lash, who is going to be starting and ending behind in income. I think there'll be a catch up next turn. We'll see. Oh. Andy ends that turn 4K up. Looks like we're going to catch up a bit here. Okay, there we go. Back up to 13K. More reasonable. This turn will just be like really far behind what Andy gets. $14 to $13. Looks like Lash will just be doing even economy next turn. And Andy's going to be getting this comm tower right as any fighting begins. So there's no... The only difference is this infantry took a little less damage on retaliation. In exchange, Andy got nice economic lead. There's no vehicles over here for Lash, so Andy can just kind of use the tank as a bully. We do have our artillery moving out. It's probably going to go for breaking the pipe seam and getting that airport running. Oh, interesting. So, as Andy here, I'm fine with like infantry strikes here. Although I might prefer like infantry strikes from here, just so they're kind of closer on this front, and then that reveals something for the tank to attack. But I can understand not wanting to have your tank sitting next to a city, a Lash city like this. So this is probably a far safer move. Also gets the hit on the pipe seam. Ooh. Lash has the artillery break the pipe seam. That was Lash privilege right there. The extra firepower boost from the artillery staying in the forest means it can kill the pipe seam in 2 hits. Okay, so this is going to be the hot button issue, is whether or not Lash is going to get punished for having this city or not. A little aggressive here for Andy to start attacking over. Tank versus a tank and recon. We know the artillery was built and fired from here, so it's probably safe for Andy to start sending it out. If Andy is able to flip this city, then okay, that's a move I don't understand. If you're going to use the tank, definitely use it last turn, not the turn that they've had a whole bunch of time to move stuff. We can reveal. We're going to get the tank hit. The tank will live, although just barely. That's good news for Andy because that's something to heal up. Okay, the artillery isn't quite guarding stuff over here. Andy is going to get the city somehow. Let's see how this goes. Fire next turn is going to be broken. He needs to get out of here. Ooh. Ooh. Just scouting with the... Wow, okay, so that makes the moving the infantry up really bad. I think you should be feeling fairly secure to attack in here as Andy, just because you see the tank strikes over here, the recon moving over. Very good news for Lash, but that fight was essentially 100% in their favor. And chills on the city. Up over here. Tank moves up in recon range. do break that, start going for the capture. It's a very odd spot to make a wall, but that's okay. Lash doesn't know that it's fairly unprotected. And now we kill the recon. Strike from the city. Artillery is going to be able to fire on the recon. Other alternative is, of course, to just... I guess you kind of have to do this. We don't have to go after the recon. Could go after all the infantry, leave this capture. It's fine to go after it. It's just gonna be a recon for a recon. The tank's on the city. Got the anti-air back here guarding against this copter that's known about. Wow, that's an insanely early rocket from Andy. And it was a base skip to get the rocket. Tank does go down. It's really annoying for our boy Andy here, but it's not the end of the world. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just has to kill this infantry. The anti-air can kill the copter. Although there's plenty of tanks backing this up. Good evening. Needle is busted on this map. Yeah. This rocket's going to be so bad. Okay, we have a medium tank. We are going to go in and kill this copter. It's going to end up being a fairly poor trade, unfortunately. It's because Lash has been super dedicated to sending in these over here. Rocket lays so much of the reinforcements here for Andy. This medium tank will be nice, provided it doesn't just get taken out by an artillery copter. There goes the recon for Andy. Tank does go down too. This tank goes down. See Andy build this tank up to 5. Pretty good. In preparation for the super. Oh my gosh, Lash is doing such a good job of finishing off all of Andy's units. A transport copter. So Andy has the super, but we're about to see part of the problem of going for tech ups too early, especially in a row. There's no support for them left. As they were kind of making their way to the front, everything died over there. And now there's nothing to give them vision or anything. Another rocket with a base skip? Well, if Lash heavily plays into these rockets by like massively overextending, then they're going to work out. But they're just so slow. And Lash is not interested in overextending whatsoever. This rocket could fire on this infantry, but I don't know if it would even be worth firing, because it would reveal so much, and he's not even going to check. Okay. Little scout. Do you have a Neo tank from Lash? It's pretty darn good. It's going to be a little one-shot a lot of stuff. And now Lash is going for rockets. What's going on? Okay, it goes for the interrupt on this. That was almost so tragic. If you knock it down to 5, and you can always just pop the super and take the property and then kill your tank. Okay? You don't quite have that happen. Wow, that's an aggressive rocket. So rockets are made out of paper, for everyone that didn't know. If a tank touches a rocket, it's so doomed. Well, it doesn't quite die in one hit unless, you know, it was like on the road and then Lash hits it from the forest or something, but they are gonna get absolutely bopped. Okay, prime tactics. Sends in the recon. Does see this rocket. Doesn't actually have a way of damaging it. All of the tanks are... Oh no! This is why you always send the back units first. This is the tank that could reach the rocket. Although it wouldn't be able to kill it, because it is on a city and it would be able to heal up with the super. Very weird Lash super here. The anti is going to get a kill on this copter. The rocket's going to get some value as well. I imagine the recon's going to be the one to save this comm tower. Does this rocket get a value too? Or value shot? What is going on over here? Why is this recon having moved? Oh, it just hit that infantry. This artillery was known about, so I don't know how it manages to not get hit here. Well, a lot of infantry died for Andy there, and very few vehicles. So we'll see if Andy can make... Lash does have an amazing unit count lead here, because they're up 13 infantry. So we'll see if enough vehicle damage can be done to help offset that. Up. Clear target is the anti-air for sure. Because then all the air units you build from this airport are just unstoppable. Okay. Set the tank. The artillery. So I'm not 100% convinced by Andy's turn here. Because this artillery is in range of the rocket. But maybe Andy's like, whatever the rocket's doing. And I guess the medium tank can't get the one shot here because of the Lash super. Makes sense. We shoot here. And then we... What? No. I think you just ignore this. It's a Lash tank on a city. The artillery shot here. Copter finishes off, then tank can come over and finish off this anti-air. And leaving it at 4 is just so questionable. Hey man. Tank comes in. Beep beep. Got the Lash rocket on its way. This poor Andy rocket didn't get show off at all. Ooh, does Lash just back off over here? In which case, Andy can very definitely save this comm tower. So many. Wow, we didn't just shoot the rocket? Okay, well that comm tower is very easy to save. I don't know why Lash even bothered to join cap that. Or why the artillery backed off so far. Oh. Okay. We need to we need to swap what is attacking where. I guess Andy doesn't have a recon left, so they don't know that the artillery backed off so far. So like I can't send my medium tank and tank up here to save this. But like as is, the rocket could have saved this city. It can't save the comm tower. The joint cap did actually end up mattering. I mean, even just the is this infantry invisible? Oh, it is invisible. I guess it wants to keep the anti-air alive too. But tragic to lose the comm tower like that. I don't know why the rocket even fired on that infantry in that case. but Lash gets double comm tower against Andy, Andy's units are just going to melt, and of course it's going to be really difficult for Andy to ever make up this infantry deficit. So I think we're about to see the beginning of the end. Andy got some really nice vehicle damage, but what is it, like 20 infantry to 7? I don't think the 6k lead is going anywhere. This rocket can fire this turn. Gets to shoot an infantry. I mean, if Lash constantly builds like rockets and then moves them onto these roads to get shelled by the Andy rocket, then I think Andy can get back into this. But as is, I'm pretty sure it's pretty much a done deal for Lash at this point. The more infantry get traded off, which is really good for Lash. The bomber's an opposing threat. It's kind of like, look, I have 2 copters. They're so exposed. Send your anti-airs against them, and then the bomber comes in after the anti-airs get dealt with. Artillery feels like it just got kill stolen. Just sits there. Gonna do the hyper repair. Andy normal powers is for the anti-air to one-shot a copter. Indeed. Desperate times. Try and guard it. The bomber can just, so it can be like copter kills off tank, or tank, bomber kills off anti-air. And now you're in a horrible spot as Andy. You have 1 base feeding in here, and you have to have 2 anti-airs to deal with a bomber. That's 2 whole turns of production. And then you have to also deal with every other unit that's coming your way. The bottom bar on the screen blocks the very bottom of the terrain box. Oh, I see what you mean. We could change that with oh, how do I move it? It'd be weird, but I can do that. Oh, no, not top left, I need top right. You can have it up there. Bottom of the box is the most crucial info. Oh no! Alright. But yeah, this looks super G. Recon goes for the interrupt. The Lash super rocket backs up. You do get the copter first strike, which is not nothing. The rocket gets to pick out some more infantry. Hold. There isn't a ton of Lash units coming in right now. Oh my gosh. Doesn't go for double anti-air. But I think it's okay. Oh no, this anti-air can reach this infantry. Not okay. We'll see if Lash sees it. Oh, Lash doesn't know another anti-air wasn't there. It's okay. I mean, you I think in every possible world you would always assume that there's... I don't know why this bomber didn't just go and kill this. Okay. Bomber's last to move. Axe on up. Got city being captured here. Neo tank be chillin'. Almost saves the city. We're catching up in 8 to 12. I mean, that's not the worst. Still down 6k every turn, but more starts to fall. Ooh, the rocket gets taken out. Down goes this anti-air. Bomber keeps out the tank. Now this corner is super. Kill this copter. Have to build another anti-air. The bomber's like right there. Some more tanks coming in, but there's no. If there was like a medium tank over here and a bomber, and the base is checkmated. They're gonna move forward here as Andy. I mean, you kind of have to try something. Ooh, we built a rocket. Andy's favorite unit. Okay. Looks like we're not going to be able to break through for the bomber to kill off that anti-air. The cap limit's probably one more property. About 2/3. Is this a sacrifice of the bomber? It looks like it. Rockets are so frail. That's not so bad for Andy. Heal that back up there. Yeah, Andy gets to hit the bomber at least. Lash builds another. I mean, does have a pretty respectable 8k income lead. Or not, more than 8k, 12k. You can send one in mana neck. Every time you got wrecked, it does look like it kind of falls out and then some one side just kind of caves. As these like natural choke points. And he resigns, yeah. GG. Losing the comm tower was so painful. I think there was just a few early turns. Andy had some nice thinking with like, I'll just hit the tank hits the pipe seam now, and then my artillery can finish it off later. But then it like slows down the tank fighting over here, and then Lash is able to get the response going. I really didn't like the early comm tower rush from Lash, but everything else I think went rather well. GG. Rook's getting took. Every single time I see Rook, I'm not thinking of chess, I'm thinking of what was that game called? It was just on the tip of my tongue. It's like an arena brawler. Well, Rook was a character. Oh man, what was that game called? If I can very quickly look it up. It's a dead game now. The developers just kind of abandoned it and then made it, I think. Battle Right was the game. That was a fun game. The Rook is also a fantastic book. Ooh. Jason Bourne and X-Men. Oh my gosh. To the right. Yeah, that's a lot of planes. This is a very... Map looks really hard to read. So it's just single comm tower, but like an insanely safe comm tower. Our neutral base over here. It looks like a 3-front map, maybe? It's very few planes. This map is... I don't know. How do I not know this map's name? It's Gobi. I don't know why that wasn't recorded. I wonder if I just swapped who's. I've never played it either. You played an adder mirror on this? So, how would I go about playing this map? I mean, to me it looks like a 3-front map where this base primarily goes in this direction, this one goes in this direction, this one goes in this direction, kind of a deal. And I see a lot of roads, bridges, and shoals. And some nice spots for potential recons to be threatening multiple fronts at the same time. So I might be trying to do a recon. I could see it also, yeah, being... I guess there's not that much in the middle. You might end up just sending both of these up this way. You can kind of front shift from the middle to help the corner. HQ is fairly exposed, which would lean more into being a corner map. Because once you win the corner, you take their HQ. Infantry brawls around the sides. Okay. If anyone does the recon shenanigan. It's also, you could maybe do some transport stuff. Wow, Rook not starting the capture? Very sus. So I'm fine with you like doing this maneuver, but definitely start the capture. You don't want to make it too obvious what you might be doing something. Even though, I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's so early in the game. It's not like they're going to do anything. So no recon out of either player. Looks like they're probably just going to do straight things. Interestingly, Jess is sending most of these infantry down this way from this base rather than into this corner. Are we going to be trying to storm the center? We do have a tank first from Jake. We're going to try and steal a property. Jake going more towards the corner. This, well, if you steal a property, then that will definitely put the pressure for the game more into the middle. You have the tank covering the tank, or the capture here. If there was one more infantry, then Jake could be like, tank, infantry smack, infantry starts the capture, but not quite there. So I think, at least for now, Jess is getting away with it. Although the corner is far more developed for Jake right now, and I think that's resulting in positive amount of income. You have to also consider that while this is a stolen property, it doesn't actually hurt Jake right now, because there wouldn't be an infantry going for the capture yet anyway. Now, if it can be continued to be denied, then it's going to start making economic impact. But like rushing it didn't do it. It's better to support on Patreon if you mean like raw amount of cash that goes through me, goes to me, than Patreon. I mean, YouTube is the join stuff on YouTube is just to give you email. It's only $1 for that reason. And all the Patreon money is gone towards funding contests and tournaments. I haven't which will be resolved soon. The first contest will be resolved soon, I swear. So far the map is getting divided fairly evenly, except for this property, so it might end up paying off in the long run here. Also, why is Jake suddenly so far behind economy? Ooh, we have a recon in the mid game. Oh, I see. Yeah, I guess we do have 3 of them in the center here. And then Jess gets the interrupt here, but they both got the interrupt. Okay, well, Jake's going to be ending the turn down 2k, which I guess is just this property. Was unable to get much more out of the sides despite getting there early. And this recon, proving its worth, is going to be able to get free swings over here. Pop. Jess even getting complete control over both corners. Jake, huge fallback over here. Sends a ton of stuff into the center trying to get this property. There's so many infantry kind of chilling back here. We'll see if a huge wave of them can like press forward and just take the whole corner before this economic damage starts making too much of an impact. Jess is up 5k with more captures incoming. We'll see, because Jake's going for a play in the middle. This is going to come in, top 1 capture, get a strike from the city. It is in artillery range. It's another tank. Are we going to be saving this city with this tank? We also have a copter coming on over. And there's no anti-air or copter or anything right now for Jake, so this is kind of a free hit with this tank. Started by a copter. Oh, wait. Why would you not save this city? Okay, we do save the city. I don't think this... I don't quite like this tank's movement going down here. It's not really needed. The recon's already doing everything you need to do. I guess it's making it so if they send just 1 tank over here, then you're fine, and you're kind of threatening to just take their HQ. If you move over here... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I guess that's not quite enough to matter. It does force this tank to not go towards the middle. Finish that tank off and then strike from the city. Seems fine for Jess though. I mean, it's definitely painful, but all the cities do remain in control. The artillery being there is making a big impact. This front is definitely very quickly falling to Jake, although it took a while for Jake to start moving out over there. Just take in these cities. You get the copter swing outside the range of the anti-air, unless we get a block rock next turn, which is not impossible. The goal for Jess is probably to just hit as many infantry as possible. Ooh, okay, well, if they're not getting hit, then this is definitely turning out better for Jake in the center. Still a huge income. Lead here for Jess. Okay, all the vehicles just back off. And the infantry back off. Well, if that's going to happen, then just maintaining all that income is going to be pretty good. Too slow? I think a little too slow, but it's starting to... The artillery in particular are starting to... So these cities are going to flip. Well, one of them flips and one just capture. Neo tank starts moving out. We've got the tech out, the tech ups. Okay, now only 3k up. That's a lot better than 5. And Jake's finding some little kickoffs on the sides. Well, Jake definitely did more damage in this exchange. I don't think it was enough damage to make up for how much income Jess has had for so long. And again, we're just going to have a huge buildup of units. Big old death ball style. I think this tank is fairly unprotected. It's just going to die. And then he gets captured. Ooh, look at the 1 health infantry being annoying. Okay, we got double Neo-tanks chilling in the center. We have triple artillery. I don't know about this. So Jake's like, you really can't attack me, but Jess is like, I don't need to attack you. I have 3 of these 4 properties. Okay. You have incoming threat on the HQ, so it makes sense that some of these guys are front shifting away. Neo tank starts coming out over here. There is an artillery, but the Neo tank can kind of clear the way for a tank to hit the artillery, so you need a very secure wall to deal with it. Ooh. It just lunges on this poor infantry, but then gives up all support of those infantry. So it's going to be 2 infantry to damage an infantry. Pop, pop. Okay. A very large number of infantry over here. Not Jess. Oh yeah, I was gonna say Jess should really have some artillery going on these sides or even center. We have 1 on the side. Build another Neo tank. Here comes the block rock. Okay. Why? None of the artillery. Oh, okay. It was a block rock into resign. So, I think... Well, Jake was like way too patient. It was definitely a really hoping that Jess just kind of slams in and dies. But at this point, I think Jake just has to keep pressing the attack or the pressure over here. Start going for the captures. Artillery is trying to lock everything down. Yeah. Sometimes the patience is too patient. There's a saying that the person who's behind in income is the one that has to act, because every turn, the person who's ahead in income is just getting farther and farther ahead. We have a fluffy game. Fluffy versus Ayrwyn. Put me in, coach. The live game. Another max mirror. Rich men don't pick fights is a Go proverb. I did not know that. A yellow comment. Oval ice. This is a live game max mirror. I'm expecting some positional mistakes. It's so easy to make, especially in live, when units just suddenly get extra movement. Like, oh no, everything falls apart. Go for a neutral basis first. No one's rushing the airport. Probably wise. Are we just going to go for tanks first, as is the custom for Max? Looks like it. We're kind of just doing the exact same opening here. We have the first tank. We have the response tank. Okay. Looks like Fluffy is going to favor going for this comm tower over the extra income. We'll see if Fluffy can do something with that. The only way, like if this tank, kind of sucks. But the tank goes down here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, even then, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It like, I'm not gonna go this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so if Fluffy goes down here with the tank, which they don't do, or he doesn't do, the comm tower could be contested, and then Fluffy would have a comm tower advantage in the capture phase. As is though, where's this tank here? I guess it's covered by another tank. As is though this comm tower just gets taken. Fluffy does get this city while Ayrwyn does not. So currently, Fluffy has a small advantage there. Goes for the tank strike on this infantry. It does invite a tank first strike. Now Fluffy goes for a base skip here for double tank. 4, 5, 6. A very weird one though. If you build a tank from here, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is farther at one tile than this one. The only reason you'd build a tank over here instead of here is to go to this tile. This must be for contesting this property. I guess it is a 6-7. That's not so bad. I would have thought. Oh, I see. Captures the comm tower after the attack. I was like, pretty sure that should get at least a chance of knocking it down to 5, right? Okay, it goes back to heal. It is indeed where we move our tank. Unless they keep sending them down. Okay. Fluffy does have a nice 1k income lead due to having both these properties while denying one of these. We'll see if that's able to be enough to make a difference here. I'm surprised. Let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 infantry. I think Ayrwyn should definitely start going for this capture, especially with all of these tanks here. Okay. If he goes for the city at the same time as interrupting this one, a huge fight in the middle about to break out. We get the attack from this river. I assume we're just gonna have an infantry interrupt this capture. No, the copter tries to go for the interrupt. That seems... I mean, it is an interrupt. I would just be really cautious because the anti-air gets power while all these vehicles are kind of on the field here. It's just gonna zoom over and kill the copter. There's so many tanks. But this wall will not hold. I'm pretty sure that fluhfie can get a whole bunch of first strikes. Has to join those guys. Okay. Smack, and then all the... I guess it's only one first strike? Yeah. I mean, that works out fairly decently for Ayrwyn, I guess. Okay, so the copter's fine. Don't know if there was a way to break that wall better to give more first strikes for fluhfie. We had so many injured infantry. I was like, there's gotta be a way. Like, you have 3 4 health infantry. So many tanks back here. Can't you like sack in? Back in. I mean, really, it's max, so you have like you can just kill so many infantry and they get a bunch of tank first strikes. Bit of a if fluff build no build anti-air, then for shame. Well, I'm not a huge fan of fluhfie's approach to this turn because now I think Ayrwyn's going to be the one that gets the first strike. Lost some tanks. Get some more infantry just kind of stand in the way. That's looking pretty good. 21 units to 32. This is going to have to be an amazing max force. I mean, the infantry are standing in the way, but we have anti-air to hit them. Down goes this copter. Unfortunately, the anti-air has to stand over here to do it. Okay, down goes both copters. Hit some tanks. fluhfie is still ending down in units, but doing very nicely for unit value. We have the max blast. Response. Ooh, the injured tanks are just running away. That's a little concerning because... Okay, only one ran away. Okay, I was going to say, they're still rather useful. Especially for, like, finishing off units like that. So, this 3 health tank probably shouldn't have run away. Could have killed an infantry. There was only one that did. Oh my gosh! 28 units to 14. 16 infantry, 12 tanks. Against 662. So double the infantry, double the tanks. fluhfie has a lot of work to do. They build back up this army. The tanks kind of chase down the opposing tanks. So many extra infantry to go for these captures. Okay, fluhfie manages to hold this corner at least with 2 infantry. And there's no there's a 0 anti-airs for Ayrwyn. So the copter is going to be white the force. We're going to have an income lead for Ayrwyn out of this, but it's still definitely possible to kind of overextend to death here. I think with Max's power, this can kind of get cleaned up. The anti-airs, I mean, they're not great against tanks, but they can still do stuff. Okay. They're not going to. They're just coming down here. Go after all these poor little infantry. Copter over here. Go for a medium tank. Have to do another base skip. Really bad for the unit count, of course. And then there's no way for Fluffy to save this city. With a super. Oh. Tank is left relatively free. I'm surprised. Oh, never mind. I'm surprised. No, the anti-air does get hit here. Why did the tank hit from here? Did it hit from the forest? Guess it wants this copter to go further back. No, the copter can just hit from here. Either back that tank. Got the medium tank. There's nothing. I guess there's a single copter. Contest the medium tank. Another medium tank gets built. Another city falls. We're gonna go for a normal power here. These are so far away. It's just to hit the medium tank with a copter? That is not worth it. I guess it does also hit a bunch of these infantry. We'll get this comm tower for sure. A very weird power out of Ayrwyn. Does stand on this airport, but that's not a huge deal for Fluffy because Fluffy only makes 17k a turn. You can very easily be like, that's fine, I just won't use my airport and it will cost you a tank. Okay, so Ayrwyn gets the comm tower, traps the medium tank over here. It was a little sketchy for the medium. Going to the corner for sure. Finish off the last infantry on this front. Still have a huge unit count lead here. Fluffy just all in on tech ups with the medium tanks. You have an anti-air covering over here. Looks like one city potentially going to be captured. I mean, the tank can save it, but it doesn't do so. Okay, okay. Fluffy's still way down in unit count, but Ayrwyn is just so cautious with these units. Other than up here, they're so far back. Fluffy's able to start getting back into this game a bit. Why are they so far back? Just because of Fluffy's power? Oh, Ayrwyn is worried about getting blown out by a super. Fluffy is now down just 2k. This tank is a little trapped. Okay. Ayrwyn's going for some more captures now. Looking for a tank strike. Kind of sacrifices itself over there. Now the copters can get built again. And now Fluffy's actually at 18k. You can go copter, tank, infantry every turn. Okay. Fluffy medium tanks are now getting answered by Ayrwyn medium tanks. I think there's more of them, right? There's 3 versus 2. Oh, I'm gonna use a normal power here. It does hit a tank. It wasn't just a normal power to hit some infantry. We hit an anti-air over here. It's pretty good. Hit this one too. Go after this poor medium tank. This tank. A lot of tanks to respond though. Go for a capture. I'm surprised the Ayrwyn's going for this normal power. I guess Ayrwyn was like, I'm being way too cautious with all my units back here. I will just put all my units up there. Well, definitely max blast for sure. Copter can just kill the copter, which is gonna be the concerning part for sure. Pop. The medium tank just goes for the interrupt. Get the smack on this ant. I don't know if that's really worth it, is it? I guess other units are gonna go after these tanks. This just heals up to 6. And this tank just kind of dies to the reinforcements. No. Bad fluhfie. One, two, three, four, five, six. It's not, the anti-air wasn't really threatening anything. I think you just... I would change this turn to just ignore this anti-air. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It doesn't even guard this tank. You can just go hit this tank. Here's the medium tank. We can hit one of these tanks. A little weird. That's okay. fluhfie did catch up a lot that turn though. We're gonna smack. Everyone's gonna have a tank and a medium tank up over here. These medium tanks are unopposed. Presently. They're just gonna swing in here. Upper lives at 2. fluhfie is really close to a win by composition though in these fights. Double anti-air are built in response to that. But fluhfie does have 5 copters. One is at 2 health, but still. Okay, down goes that tank. Down goes that anti-air. Start picking the rest of these guys off. This is at 4 capture points left. It does take... I think that was a sacrifice attempt? I mean, instead of a sacrifice attempt, I'm pretty sure you can go like... maybe. I was thinking medium tank plus copter kills this guy, and then the 2 tanks can kill this. I don't know if that's worth it. Definitely not worth it, did it? With like, I think them to do 2 damage in retaliation. Dream in the dream. Wow, the medium tank falls all the way back. 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess we do have as an option. We're on day 24, so fluhfie needs to flip 2 cities for a draw, or 2 cities and a comm tower. So 3 urban terrain tiles need to get flipped here for fluhfie, or the game will end for a win for Ayrwyn in 5 turns. Which does kind of mean that Ayrwyn can all in these infantry pretty heavily. And make it pretty tough for fluhfie. That's what we're gonna do. There goes the mech. There's now 1 full health infantry over here. We get the medium tank first strike over here. Absolutely devastating. fluhfie gets a max blast response. But I don't think there's too much that can be done. We do have another situation of a win by composition. There's just not enough infantry left to go for the captures. The fluhfie resigns. GG. Yeah, day 30 is the day limit. Never Go7 says, bad fluhfie, you feel bad? Oh, I'm so sorry. Or maybe that's good. Next we have Soul for rent. Overknight has recently made a YouTube channel, by the way. Sounds like he's going to be covering map creation stuff. Do I think T-Copter would be good on this map? I don't know if I know this map. Or do you mean the previous map? But you're doing a VTuber model. I just have a PNG. You're going all out. Already subscribed to Sulfurin's channel. Nice. I know there was some Starflash fanfic. A transport copter seems... I don't think I would get it on this map. I mean, the airport's so far away. Maybe in the mid-game you could do it. But it's not even that much faster because it's from like an APC. The APC can run down this pathway. You dunked on by Strider on this map? Oh, were you... What was the matchup? Was it Grimm versus Adder? I'm just a little penguin. I do have a Halloween costume for my penguin. So, on Halloween, maybe I'll get it up even earlier than Halloween. We'll see how this goes. So we got Adder Mirror. No one picked Koal. There's so many bridges, though. I mean, there's some roads in there for sure. HQ looks very killable. Easy tiles to block. We'll see how this goes. Looks like we're just going to be pumping out infantry. No H had a chance. This is probably actually... Wait. I was thinking it was a... element. No. Element. It's a fun time counting all the blunders. Yeah. No had a chance to build a tank last turn, but decided not to. Wanted more infantry. Decides to build the tank now. Okay. It does give Sulfurent a little bit of a tempo lead. Have 2 tanks versus currently 1 tank. It's going to be... Well, it could be 3 tanks if there is a base... Yep. This triple base. You need 15k for 2 base without a... Or 2 tanks out of the base. You could also go tank artillery infantry. The artillery looked pretty decent on this map because boy oh boy are those some choke points. Wow, okay, so we're gonna send our tank in. We got a nice tank chain going. It will interrupt the capture, most likely. No has a choice of either attacking from the city or attacking from like this plains tile and then just having a tank follow this up and then keep capturing. That just put a lot of pressure on Sulfurent. Obviously, attacking from the city is not bad because you have another tank guarding it. Let's decide to attack from the plains tile and back this up while going for the capture. Makes it a little bit awkward, but Sulfurant can just like move this tank over here to strike and have this full health tank go for the attack. It's a little bit of an overextension because this is only 2 turns, almost just one. If it was just 1 turn, it would be 2 turns. Presently, if Sulfurant stays in this kind of tank exchange for a little too long, then it'll be just like immediately GG because no H can use the power and have a tank unbuilt impact the fight. Oh, interesting. Okay. Sulfurant's like, I did not like that exchange. I am going to go heal up my tank. Oh, never mind. Sulfurant was, no, I actually love that exchange. I just wanted to let you get this city. Okay, there's only 2 turns. I guess there's 2 turns for both players currently. Okay, no is like... Okay, never mind. I was thinking that No didn't want to continue this fight. I did want to continue the fight. Just wanted an infantry standing here. Could have attacked with the infantry. Could also have had this tank strike here and then send this tank to this city, so it's a little bit closer to the fight when it's healing up. I really don't like this tank moving over here as it's now heavily exposed. It's going to die a horrible death. So there's stuff happening in the corners as well. Like Sulfurant's going to be the one to send a vehicle to both corners. This one just by copter being built, which is pretty nasty. Makes it so this tank being sent over here is probably not as scary as it looks, because just like our copter is just built over here to impact the whole corner, our copter can be built over here to impact the whole corner, and then this tank's feeling a little silly. Okay, so the fighting is slowly moving closer and closer to Sulfurant, who's going to be able to have the first adder power, so this copter can actually fight over here right now if it wanted to. That might happen. Okay. Be a little cautious with that tank. But I mean, healing it up is fine. We are going to use the normal power, which I don't understand, because now this copter doesn't have any good answers. Oh no! Okay. And now the response normal power just kills the copter. Okay, this tank does die at least. And yeah, this tank does have to just kind of sulk away as this copter was built. Brawl in the middle is going very nicely for Sulfurant. I think this response adder power is going to be a little devastating though. Never mind? Really? Okay. Who needs copters? Or free copter pickup? They're overrated. Wow. Okay, we're gonna cover up the copter. Can still, well, I guess we take an adder super. Anti-air isn't acting down here. Okay, so many copters are getting built here for Sulfurant. They're kind of overwhelming. No H here. He's going to use the super, so this tank can now clear the way. And a nice smack with this copter. Gonna go for some captures. Oh, get another swing from the infantry, and then we're gonna hit this copter. Unfortunately, it does leave the anti-air a little bit exposed, but the copter does go down. You're playing on. I also play very poorly on mobile. No worries. That's all I play on nowadays. I don't have time to sit down and play. Ferent being very chill. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, it would take a normal power for the anti to make it down here. We have a little breakthrough to hit this copter, not terrible. Wolfriend has a 1k, never mind, doesn't have an income lead. Although, it's going to get these 2 captures. No H is actually making a fairly decent comeback to where they were just a few turns ago. Definitely helped with that. And these copters back. Anti-air comes in to help disrupt this corner. There isn't any tanks over here, so it's looking fairly unopposed. A bunch of tanks chilling in the center, though. Nothing guarding this copter currently. So it could get picked off, assuming that this dies. Oh. If No H doesn't want to like get some charge to use to guarantee this gets broken, you can always send this 3 health infantry in. I would just like send a 7 health over here, 3 health goes in, sacrifices itself, and then it's guaranteed to kill off. Since of course it would be nice for a copter to just move on to the city and kill it. I can understand that desire. It's not as great to move into this tile, of course. Now these 2 copters can kind of come over and ruin No H's day. Which I assume is what we're about to see. We're using a super. Don't know why. But I'm sure I'm about to find out. Pop, pop, pop. Divs. So, if you don't know, Adder's normal power gives him +1 move. It costs 2 bars of charge. Adder's super gives him +2 move for 5 bars of charge. It doesn't give you any extra firepower boost. So, yeah, that tank did get to use it. I think there was a 1 tank move and maybe few infantry moves here that are enjoying the extra movement, but definitely that was a turn to just use the normal power, so you have lots of charge left over to use more normal powers. But sometimes, you know, you see the flashy button and you press it. Okay, side slipper spawn. Pop. The copter lives at 2. Who's this copter? Take out this tank. Little wall of infantry. Wow, that's a brave tank. Let's have a buddy. Performance going to get this capture. I assume he's going to kill this tank off too. Fortunately, we had the power, the super used, so we don't have a normal power for this turn. Let's get the kill off that anti-air. Okay, huge fight in the center is still ongoing. The units are just face to face. Huge investment from Sulfurent on the bottom right. This tank survives at 2. Still 2 anti-airs over here though, so it's not like you can really build a copter. Get the first medium. Oh no, they both have a medium tank in response to a medium tank. Normal power. Yellow comet. A bunch of strikes. Finishes off that tank. There's the 6 health copter here. So it's going to be able to bully this tank a little bit. It's so close to being able to just build a copter and then have tank copter and hold this corner. Oh, very bold. I guess there's nothing but injured tanks over here, so it's okay. Another medium tank. Overknight has a 2k lead, which is nice. A little weird for the copter to go after the very injured. Gonna go for our normal power. Anti-airs. We try and clear out the what? Yeah, well, you don't have to stand on the airport. You can always just kill infantry, and as long as you have anti-airs in range of the airport, they can't go. In fact, oh, is there a mod on Twitch to get rid of our bot? Twitch side's got bots. Where's Fluffy? Fluffy let us down. Well, if someone wants to be a mod on Twitch, make them one. Mod Twitch? Okay. If I can remember how to do this, though. Twitch. Yeah. How do I even mod Twitch? Here we go. I modded Twitch. Just don't give the mod to the bot. Alright, Mananek, you're gonna have to have a comment on Twitch and I can. Hello. Imagine I could mod a bot. First time in chat. There, you are now modded. Use the power well. Fight the bots. Whoa. Overknight built a copter in the face of the anti-air. It is covered by a medium tank, so it's not like the worst thing. Still rather bold, though. I personally love having copters fly in the face of anti-airs while I have a medium tank around. Because then you just kill off the anti-air and then have like your win by composition. As you just make more copters. They are throwaway accounts, yeah. Here you go, Mananek. Okay, Sulfurant. Now the anti-airs are going to clear those guys off. There's no more infantry up here for no H, which is usually a very good sign. Looks like we're going to use the tanks. Okay, so the anti-air gets to live. But that was a horrible copter attack. This medium tank is on a city, so it's going to heal. And then I think this just dies to the add or normal power. Although last time that was available, no H didn't do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can't quite get this big tank unless get an adder super. Ooh, it does flip. You're gonna use the normal power. Down goes the copter. A little weird to go for this capture, but it's fine. It's just like a lot of stuff over here. A little cautious of losing the infantry. Okay. Tank first strikes. Just get chill with it. All right. Oh, all right. If he hit with the infantry, I would definitely hit with the tank too. Side slip from Sulfurent, who started to fall really far behind him. Value does save this. Looks like this anti-air basically got a fill, and this copter just flew into its range. Okay. So infantry count wise, Sulfurent's got a nice advantage in the corners. So I will expect both of those to start flipping really soon, and then they'll just be like a massive income lead. You get a medium tank first strike, which is... Down goes that copter. Rest in peace. Nice infantry block, provided this can't be cleared. Okay, I assume we're going to interrupt. Oh, we can't, because this is going capped. Sulfurent is going to start getting a nice income lead here. And this property is going to flip. Okay, let's get a nice exchange on this. We can take it. Fall back. Injured units. Looks like the anti-air is going to hold. Very nice. A Neo tank come out for Sulfurent. Huge fallback. Up 2k. We are going to use a normal power, clear out a bunch of these injured units. Start the HQ cap. Oh no. Sulfurent suddenly very much regretting falling back in this direction away from their HQ. I think the pipe seam is there, so you can fire on accident. Oh, is that what happened with the infantry? Oh no. Okay. Well, there's no infantry around for a join cap. This isn't... I mean, it's definitely scary. Sulfurent can use a normal power and have an infantry strike at least. We use the injured one. That's confidence right there. Personally, I would want to hit with the healthiest infantry I have. What is that? Strike with the 6 health, then join the full health in? Just hit with the full health and then join the 6 if you want. Neo tank moves forward. There are a bunch of medium tanks for it to fight. Okay. Sulfurent's like, oh yeah, I don't want to lose my HQ, and this lets No H take this corner. I'm not quite sure why we're hitting this infantry rather than finishing off this anti-air. Okay. Continuing the capture on the HQ. Putting on a lot of pressure. Finish off that medium tank, start this capture. Anti-air comes down here. Start picking on these 4 infantry. This medium tank is not guarded by this Neo tank or anything else that can oppose this Neo. So I think that's just a free medium tank. It does live at 4. I think the tanks could have killed it off, but maybe not. No H is gonna get this corner next turn. HQ was held. Down goes this copter. So many copters getting killed off by these. And now the Neo tank, this medium tank just stood here, so really wants to maintain control over this. Oh, down goes this anti-air. The only anti-air in this region, and now we can build copters unopposed, or even go straight to bombers, honestly. I mean, you got medium tanks and Neo tanks all over the place. So you can, if you want, like, join these tanks together, and then go like bomber, triple infantry, or something like that. This can use a copter, as the one helicopters sit on this airport. It just kind of dies to an infantry for no reason. It's annoying. That was the purpose. Ooh, Neo tank first strike. City gets denied too. Very nasty. Overknight does have enough. Oh, this medium tank just chilled. Does have enough for a power. Can do 2 powers in a row, really. Falls back with the Neo tank. Copter. Medium tank hits this Neo. Anti-air tries to finish it off. The tank killed the tank. Okay. Pretty decent. Unopposed tanks over here. We're kind of in the same situation we were before at like the very start of the game with this corner, where a copter can be built and then the tanks just have to run away. So, like an anti-air might have been the better buy here. Okay. Ooh. Tank's getting some work done. Another city getting captured. No H is up 3k. Successfully denying this capture. Has some infantry walking towards some more cities too. There's our first bomber. And Overknight's in a very awkward situation of having a single anti-air injured on the exact opposite side of the map as the bomber. Doesn't have the cash to like build a fighter in response either. So are we just gonna see double anti-air? Oh, single anti-air. Loot 5k. Or not 5k, 500. We have a copter. Loading money. The bomber is looking like it's going to be really good here. It's just being an annoying blocker right now, but actually, it's not even an annoying. It's in range of the anti-air with +1 move. I don't know. It can be very easy to forget extra movement. And that makes it a very sad bomber. It's still a good blocker. I mean, the city's going to get. Well, it's not going to get captured though, because the copter can just hit. The copter's not going to hit, though. Because it wants to go pick on this Neo tank? Well, I would definitely have saved the city. Rather than finish off the injured Neo. That's just me. Medium tank gets hit. He flips. Bomber goes after the Neo. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's out of range of the anti-air now. No H looking amazing in this corner currently. Does stand again. You don't need to stand on the airport if you have an anti-air in range. Honestly, you kind of want them to build a copter. No H goes for the lab cap for dominance. This isn't a live game, so there's no like day limit. You have the battleship, and then Sulfurent resigns. GG. Even after getting the hit on the bomber. Being down 5k will definitely do that to you. This corner was also looking very much in the H's favor. That was a wild game, very back and forth. Much sadness was had on this day. Everyone blundered. It's fine. It's fine. That's part of the game. I respect the battleship. Alright, that's going to be our last game for the night. I hope everyone enjoyed. Here's your apple for the week, honestly. The apple of week keeps the doctor away. Something like that. Thanks for watching, everyone. Good night.
It's Go7, king of the penguins. Of all the penguins, he is king. It's Go7, king of the penguins. Being king of the penguins, that's his thing.